7 miles down, in complete darkness, under pressure that would crush a human body instantly, something has been watching cameras arrive for decades.
A place so deep that sunlight has never reached it, where crushing pressure and freezing temperatures should make life impossible.
The Mariana Trench is the deepest place on Earth, and it has given up its secrets only a handful of times. Fewer than 30 people have ever reached the bottom.
Yet, the Mariana Trench is filled with bizarre creatures, glowing animals, armored shrimp, and giant single-celled organisms thriving miles beneath the ocean. How can an entire ecosystem survive in total darkness under such extreme conditions? Once considered an unreachable mystery, the trench is finally revealing its secrets through recent expeditions, exposing an alien world stranger than science fiction and as mysterious as outer space. The Mariana Trench's extreme environment. The Mariana Trench is Earth's deepest known point, a yawning scar stretching over 2,500 kilometers in the western Pacific Ocean. Its deepest section, the Challenger Deep, plunges nearly 11,000 meters below sea level, more than 2 kilometers deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Imagine stacking the tallest mountain onto the ocean floor and still having to dive further, nearly 2 kilometers, to reach the bottom. This vast depth alone defies ordinary comprehension. At such depths, pressure is immense, over 1,000 times what we experience at sea level. Scientists compare it to 50 fully loaded jumbo jets pressing down on a single point. A steel submarine not purpose-built for this environment would be crushed instantly, like a soda can beneath a boot. Yet, this extreme pressure is just the beginning of a hostile realm. Temperature near the trench floor hovers just above freezing, where sunlight is an absolute stranger. Sunlight fades completely beneath 1,000 meters. The Mariana Trench is nearly 11 times deeper. In total darkness, almost no visible energy reaches these depths. This absence of light removes a fundamental ingredient that powers nearly all life visible to us. Given these conditions, for decades researchers assumed the trench was a barren wasteland. Until now, only 3 manned or unmanned vehicles have even reached the bottom, making exploration rare and fraught with technological challenges. Such difficulty means much of this crushing world remains unexplored and mysterious. But the ocean here isn't empty. It is a complex landscape shaped by plate tectonics, where the Pacific Plate slides beneath the smaller Mariana Plate. This slow, grinding collision gouges the deep trench canyon and forms the seafloor's crescent-shaped scar. This geologic process has been carving the trench for tens of millions of years, making it a unique and ancient environment. The trench's environment, extreme pressure, cold, no light, poses enormous obstacles for life, making survival a daunting task. Yet the deeper we peer, the more we find that organisms adapted to this harsh niche don't merely survive. They thrive in ways that challenge our understanding of biology. The mysteries lurking beneath hint that life in these conditions follows entirely different rules. This world beyond reach is unlike any other place on Earth, a frontier where the physical extremes reshape what's possible. It's a place that forces us to rethink what it means to inhabit life, stretching the limits of biology. What exactly dwells in this crushing depth is mind-boggling, and the key discoveries lie just ahead. Understanding this immense hostile environment prepares us to appreciate the incredible adaptations of the creatures that live here. Their survival is a direct response to extreme conditions that would destroy most life we know. It is in these adaptations that the Mariana Trench's true mystery starts to emerge. The creatures found here are unlike any seen elsewhere, embodying the trench's pressure and darkness. Their biology reveals nature's power to innovate and endure. But those innovations only make sense when we grasp the raw environment they inhabit, an environment where pressure is more than force. It is life's very fabric. Adaptations of deep-sea creatures. One of the most iconic residents of the Mariana Trench is the Mariana snailfish, discovered living near the Challenger Deep. At first glance, it looks fragile. A soft, nearly translucent body with no scales and small black eyes. It seems suited for shallow tide pools, not the crushing depths of Earth's deepest canyon. This delicate appearance conceals a remarkable story of survival. The snailfish's body is uniquely shaped by the extreme pressure surrounding it. Its bones are thin, and its skull never fully mineralizes like typical fish skeletons. This lack of rigidity isn't a defect. It's an energy-saving trade-off essential for life where food is scarce. Instead of wasting precious energy building a strong skeleton, the snailfish relies on the enormous weight pressing on it to hold it together. Bring the snailfish to the surface, and its body essentially falls apart. The pressure that would devastate almost any organism is what its structure depends on to stay intact. Its cells, membranes, and tissues have evolved to function normally only under this immense load. This is an animal literally built by pressure, not merely tolerating it, but requiring it to exist. This adaptation illustrates a profound biological principle. Life here is shaped by its environment in ways impossible elsewhere. The Mariana snailfish redefines resilience, thriving where crushing force is not merely a challenge, but scaffolding for existence. It shows how evolution can flip assumptions about normal life on their head. But this snailfish is only the beginning. It hunts small crustaceans and other tiny creatures living on the seafloor, proving that a functioning ecosystem exists in complete darkness and unbearable pressure. Its slow, loose clusters patrol the ocean bed, adapted to an alien world beneath us. What's more, these adaptations mirror the scarcity of resources in the trench. Food is scarce and energy precious, so every trait, from skeletal design to metabolism, is optimized for survival on the edge. This economy of energy use is a recurring theme among the trench's inhabitants. The snailfish's biological innovations hint at larger mysteries beneath the ocean. If an entire species can be so deeply dependent on pressure, what other forms of life have similarly surprising adaptations? How far can biology stretch to exist in extreme environments? These questions reveal how little we truly understand about life in the Haddle depths. The Mariana snailfish stands as a symbol of the trench's hidden wonders. Fragile, yet unyielding. Alien, yet very real. Its survival depends on conditions that would destroy most creatures, challenging our assumptions about what life requires. This remarkable fish opens a door into the trench's other incredible inhabitants. Its story prepares us to meet yet stranger creatures, organisms that further defy expectations and deepen the trench's mystery. From armored shrimp to enormous single cells, each adaptation is a testament to life's power to persist where science once thought impossible. The giant armored amphipods. In 2019, researchers exploring the very deepest parts of the Mariana Trench encountered an astonishing sight: supergiant amphipods nearly a foot long. For comparison, most amphipods found in shallow waters or tide pools measure only a few millimeters. Discovering creatures 100 times larger in an environment where food is incredibly scarce perplexed scientists. Typically, extreme environments drive animals to smaller sizes, since smaller bodies demand less energy to maintain. These amphipods appeared to break that rule entirely. Their large size raised questions about how such substantial organisms can survive in a place with minimal nutrition and crushing pressure. Closer examination revealed another surprise. Their exoskeletons incorporated aluminum. Unlike most organisms that build shells using calcium, silica, or chitin, these amphipods weave aluminum into their body armor. This rare biological use of metal suggests an extraordinary adaptation to their corrosive, high-pressure habitat. Deep trench water tends to dissolve exposed shells over time. By chemically transforming sediment-derived aluminum into a protective coating, these amphipods prevent their exoskeletons from breaking down. This metal armor allows them to survive in an environment hostile not only in pressure and temperature, but also chemically. Their lifestyle complements their armor. These amphipods are scavengers, feeding on whatever organic matter drifts down from above. Dead fish, sunken wood, decomposing detritus, and even plastic waste reaching the ocean floor provide nutrient sources. The trench turns scavenging into a high-stakes survival strategy. Adding even more astonishment, researchers observed these amphipods using sharp, spiked tails as weapons against predators. This defensive behavior had never been previously recorded in this species. It reveals a combative side to trench life, where fighting for limited resources is part of daily existence. Imagining a shrimp-like creature, nearly a foot long, armored with metal and armed with a spike, thriving under unfathomable pressure, sounds like science fiction. Yet, this is real biology evolving inch by inch at the planet's depths. These amphipods represent nature's ingenuity under extreme conditions. Their discovery expands our understanding of what life looks like in the Hadal Zone. If such creatures can survive, it suggests a broader ecosystem of surprising and complex organisms below. Each finding peels back more of the Mariana Trench's veil, revealing an alien world hidden in plain sight. The amphipod's existence invites us to ponder what other biological marvels await discovery in oceans we have barely begun to explore. The trench's depths are home to creatures that challenge perception, science, and imagination alike. The enigmatic giant, single cells. Among the strangest discoveries in the Mariana Trench are enormous single-celled organisms called xenophyophores. Unlike the microscopic single cells that most people imagine, these xenophyophores can reach sizes comparable to a mango, sometimes over 10 centimeters across. What makes them truly remarkable is that each xenophore is a single biological unit containing multiple nuclei, a feature known as being multinucleated, which sets them apart from typical cells. These giant cells don't just survive the crushing pressure and near-freezing temperatures, they build intricate shells by collecting sediment and mineral particles from the ocean floor. The resulting formations look like fragile coral or sponges scattered across the seabed, yet they are each formed by one single cell. This architectural feat challenges our understanding of how biological complexity can exist without the cooperation of many cells. No one fully understands how a single cell can grow so large and handle all the functions normally divided among tissues and organ systems in multicellular life. The prevailing theory suggests the large size offers a survival advantage. The greater surface area allows the xenophore to absorb scarce nutrients more effectively in the nutrient-poor environment of the trench, turning size into a critical adaptation embedded in its biology. Inside this solitary cell, a complex orchestration takes place that replaces many roles typically assigned to organs or nervous systems. It carries out all essential life functions alone: feeding, defense, repair, on a scale rarely seen anywhere else on Earth. This single massive cell showcases nature's ability to innovate in the face of extreme environmental constraints. Its existence poses fascinating questions about life at the boundary of biological possibility. How does it repair DNA damaged by constant cellular stress? How does it maintain structural integrity under thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch? These xenophyophores suggest that life in the trench resists simple categorization or comparison. Though they seem alien, xenophyophores are part of a broader community of microscopic and macroscopic organisms thriving in the abyss. Their large, intricate shells are not just protective structures, but also a form of environmental integration, linking living cells to the geological world around them. This connection blurs lines between biology and geology in deep-sea ecosystems. Studying xenophyophores expands our view of life's diversity on Earth. They reveal that single-celled life can evolve to extraordinary forms, refuting notions that complex life must always be multicellular. Their distinctive survival strategy invites us to rethink how life might adapt on other worlds with harsh conditions. Beyond their biology, xenophyophores contribute to the trench's hidden ecosystem by playing roles in nutrient cycling and habitat formation for other small organisms. They emphasize that the Mariana Trench is not a lifeless void, but a complex web of interactions sustained by life forms far removed from everyday experience. The presence of giant single cells in this extreme environment reminds us that the deepest reaches of our planet are full of wonders as baffling as any found in distant galaxies. Unidentified, glowing jellyfish. Not far from the xenophyophores, researchers came face to face with a living mystery, a glowing jellyfish unlike any previously catalogued. During a deep-sea expedition near the Enigma seamount, cameras captured footage of a bell-shaped creature drifting silently about 3,700 meters below the surface. Unlike most jellyfish that pulse rhythmically to move, this one held itself perfectly still, seemingly waiting to ambush unsuspecting prey. The jellyfish's long, thin tentacles trailed gently in the dark water, and faint bioluminescent glow emitted from parts of its body. This subtle light suggested it might belong to a known group called Crossota, but many scientists suspect this is an entirely new species, unrecognized by science. To this day, it remains officially unnamed and unclassified. That we have actual, verifiable footage of a living animal humanity cannot identify is both astonishing and humbling. It underscores how little we truly know about the deep ocean, despite decades of technological advances and exploration. Entire creatures can live beneath our feet without anyone having encountered or documented them before. This glowing jellyfish represents the ocean's vast, unexplored biodiversity, challenging our assumptions that life is catalogued and mapped. Its existence is a vivid reminder that the trench is more than a geological feature. It is a living frontier filled with undiscovered life forms. What else might drift silently in those depths, waiting to be found? Furthermore, the fact that such a creature can glow softly in complete darkness hints at life's ingenuity in communication and survival without sunlight. Bioluminescence in these depths can serve many roles: luring prey, repelling predators, or attracting mates, all evolved under conditions utterly hostile to humans. The jellyfish's ambush hunting style is unusual among related species, indicating a sophisticated behavioral adaptation finely tuned to the trench environment. This behavior adds another layer of complexity to life in an ecosystem where scarcity demands both patience and precision for survival. Its discovery also highlights the contrast between our quest for life beyond Earth and the life hiding right beneath us. Space agencies spend billions scanning distant planets for traces of life, while unmapped creatures flourish in the ocean's deepest shadows. The unknown glowing jellyfish is a poignant emblem of this paradox. Scientists remain cautious about declaring the animal a brand new species because identifying deep-sea jellyfish is notoriously difficult. Many fragile gelatinous organisms are damaged when collected, making high-quality video footage one of the best tools for studying them in their natural habitat. Even so, subtle differences in body shape, tentacle arrangement, and movement can reveal evolutionary branches never before documented. Until researchers obtain additional observations or a physical specimen, the glowing drifter remains one of the deep ocean's most intriguing scientific puzzles. Encounters like this demonstrate why every expedition into the abyss has the potential to rewrite biology textbooks. Vast regions of the deep Pacific have never been systematically explored, and each dive frequently reveals organisms with unexpected forms, colors, and survival strategies. Marine biologists estimate that a significant portion of deep-sea species remains undiscovered, meaning animals as remarkable as this jellyfish may be far more common than we realize. They simply exist beyond the reach of routine observation. Perhaps the greatest lesson from this unidentified jellyfish is that discovery is far from over. At a time when satellites can map distant galaxies and rovers explore other worlds, Earth's own deepest waters still conceal creatures that science cannot name. Every new expedition into these crushing depths reminds us that the Mariana Trench is not just a place of extremes, but a vast reservoir of biological secrets waiting for the next glimpse of light to reveal them. As we consider the glowing jellyfish and its enigmatic existence, we must acknowledge how much remains hidden in the trench's eternal darkness. Its presence invites curiosity and caution. Curiosity to explore further, and caution to respect a world so unfamiliar and fragile. Life without sunlight, chemosynthesis. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, the traditional rules of life break down completely. Unlike most ecosystems on Earth, where sunlight fuels growth and sustains food chains, the trench plunges into total darkness that sunlight has never reached and never will. Yet, life not only exists here, it thrives through a remarkable process called chemosynthesis, a form of energy production independent of light. In 2025, a Chinese submersible discovered thriving colonies of worms and mollusks clustered near cracks in the seafloor, emitting plumes of methane gas. These creatures survive by hosting or feeding on specialized bacteria that harness the chemical energy of methane and hydrogen sulfide, seeping from beneath Earth's crust. This bacterial process converts toxic chemicals directly into usable energy, performing a function akin to photosynthesis, but powered by chemistry, not sunlight. This ecosystem is the deepest known animal colony ever recorded on Earth, revealing that life's origins need not be tied to the sun. Instead, chemosynthesis shows that complex biological communities can arise from chemical energy sources, challenging long-held assumptions about where and how life can flourish. This system supports entire food webs in utter darkness and crushing pressures far beyond human endurance. The implications stretch beyond Earth's oceans. Similar chemical energy processes might support life on icy moons like Europa or Enceladus, where subsurface oceans and hydrothermal vents could create environments analogous to our trench's methane seeps. Discovering chemosynthetic ecosystems on Earth lends credibility to the idea that life could exist in alien oceans, surviving in conditions previously thought inhospitable. Chemosynthesis-powered communities also include diverse creatures adapted to feed on bacteria, either directly or through symbiosis inside their tissues. This microscopic cooperation forms the backbone of the Hadal ecosystem, showing that even in scarcity, nature builds intricate, resilient networks that maintain life. The complex interplay between geology, chemistry, and biology here is a marvel of evolution. Beyond microbes and worms, other trench residents have evolved strategies to live without light. Transparent eels hunt in near-complete darkness, relying on sensitive body structures instead of eyesight. Thick mats of bacteria carpet the ocean floor, breaking down organic debris that sinks from above and recycling nutrients with incredible efficiency, making the most of scant resources in this remote world. Research highlights that the Mariana Trench is not a barren pit, but a layered mosaic of ecosystems stacked atop one another, each with distinct survival strategies forged over millions of years of isolation. This diversity offers a glimpse into how life endures through adaptation and innovation, rewriting our understanding of ecology and survival under extreme conditions. Learning about chemosynthesis broadens our appreciation of life's resilience and adaptability. It reveals that biology is not confined by sunlight or temperate climates, but can arise in places no surface dwellers would imagine. The trench's ecosystems are prototypes for exploring life's potential beyond Earth, inspiring both awe and curiosity. This understanding of sunless life paves the way toward exploring humanity's own future, challenging us to look deeper, not just in the ocean, but in the cosmos, where energy, chemistry, and time shape where life might emerge next. Pollution penetrates the deepest reaches. The Mariana Trench might be Earth's most remote and extreme environment, but it is not untouched by human impact. In 2020, researchers discovered a new species of amphipod living nearly 7 kilometers beneath the ocean surface, but these tiny creatures carried a troubling sign of our presence: microscopic fragments of plastic embedded deep in their tissues. They named the species Urothoi plasticus, a deliberate nod to the invisible pollution found inside it. This discovery marks a sobering milestone. Plastic pollution has penetrated into one of the least explored and most inhospitable habitats on Earth, contaminating life forms before scientists have had the chance to study them in their natural, pristine state. It underscores the far-reaching consequences of human waste, traveling from surface waters down to the very floor of the deepest ocean trenches. Other expeditions have documented microplastics scattered within seafloor sediment, and even found larger pieces of plastic, like bags and packaging, resting near the Challenger Deep itself. The notion that our trash has reached the bottom of the world before many of our most advanced scientific missions is a stark reminder of the pervasive nature of pollution. The spread of plastics presents serious challenges to the delicate ecosystems formed at these depths. Though life here is resilient, the chemical and physical impacts of contamination are poorly understood. The presence of plastics in such environments could disrupt feeding, reproduction, and the health of species uniquely adapted to extreme conditions. Researchers emphasize that the plight of plastic pollution is both a local and global problem, an invasive force that threatens habitats spanning from the shallows to abyssal depths. The Mariana Trench serves as a powerful symbol of how interconnected Earth's systems are, and how actions on the surface ripple into the planet's most hidden corners. Despite these troubling findings, the trench remains a hotbed of biodiversity. Thousands of previously unknown microbial species have been identified in sediment samples, many carrying specialized genes for repairing DNA damaged by extreme pressure and oxidative stress. These organisms display astounding molecular resilience that researchers hope to study for medical and space exploration benefits. Ongoing efforts like the Mariana Trench Environment and Ecology Research Project are showing, in a way that's hard to ignore, how diverse and complex life can be in those deep sediments, even while it is under threat from pollution. With each new discovery, it becomes clearer that the trench is not just some place out there, but a living laboratory, so we can see where life's limits really are and what happens when human influence slips in. The way pollution is moving into such remote habitats, it demands urgent reflection about how we handle waste and how we actually shield fragile ecosystems on Earth. It kind of messes up the story we tell about the trench being an untouched frontier, because it pushes us to face the fact that no corner of the planet is truly cut off from human activity. Holding both truths at once, wonder and vulnerability, in the Mariana Trench, brings a mix of admiration for nature's stubbornness and a feeling of duty. As we descend to seek answers to the big questions about life, we have to also sit with the consequences of being there, and we need to try, really try, to safeguard the integrity of this strange world under the waves. From ecosystems fueled not by light, but chemistry, to the dark stain of human pollution, the Mariana Trench reveals a world as complex as it is extreme. The strange life forms and brutal conditions challenge what we thought possible on Earth and beyond. Implications for space and human survival. The astonishing finds in the Mariana Trench are sort of reshaping how scientists even think about life out there, beyond our planet. For decades, we've been staring at distant moons and planets looking for clues, any tiny microbe, any chemical residue that might whisper, "We're not alone." But weirdly enough, right beneath our own oceans, tucked inside crushing darkness and intense pressure, living things seem to flourish in ways that mess with what we once considered possible. So yeah, this deep-sea biology becomes a sort of terrestrial pattern, or if you want, a working prototype for thinking through how life might endure across the cosmos. And the thing is, life doesn't always need sunlight. It can live on chemosynthesis instead, which gives us a key realization. Whole ecosystems can basically bloom on chemical energy alone. That flips older assumptions, the ones where sunlight was treated like the mandatory foundation. It also points toward moons like Jupiter's Europa or Saturn's Enceladus, both rumored to have subsurface oceans that are warmed by hydrothermal activity. They may be able to support thriving communities under their ice shell, powered by chemistry that is reminiscent of Earth's deepest trenches, rather than anything like surface light. Microbial and multicellular life forms in the trench have some pretty extraordinary ways to keep going, despite damage from constant cellular strain like reactive oxygen species, which is also a problem for humans in extreme settings like outer space. These deep ocean creatures run with very strong DNA repair processes, plus protective genes that help them endure crazy pressure, colder temperatures, and basically total darkness for long lifetimes. If we study these systems closely, it could spark new medical therapies, or maybe even boost human resilience during space travel. Space missions run into kind of similar stuff: isolation, radiation, cellular harm, and long exposure to rough conditions. The trench microbes handle these stresses with strategies that feel like bioengineering, and we can learn from that. This line of research is already feeding into protective methods for astronauts on long runs, like voyages to Mars or farther, where the human body has to function for extended stretches away from Earth, without the usual supportive environment. Also, there's the fact that researchers have found thousands of species in the trench that were never recorded before, and some of them carry unusual genetic features. That basically opens a pathway to biotechnology improvements that could back space living and maybe even terraforming missions. Deep-sea biology is turning into a kind of natural trial ground for ideas about how life adjusts and where biological limits really sit, which might end up shaping how humans adapt on new planets or moons. The Mariana Trench kind of shows us how fragile things really are, and how everything is still connected even when it seems far apart. And as we talk about stretching our reach into space, it also quietly nudges us to keep in mind that understanding and protecting Earth's most hard-to-reach environments is just as critical. If we defend those hidden places, we safeguard the genetic variety that could later power future breakthroughs or even help with human survival beyond Earth, somehow. These tucked-away, complicated ecosystems have been evolving for millions of years. They highlight nature's stubborn ability to innovate, even when the conditions are limiting and not exactly forgiving. Looking at them gives you this strange mirror for our own path ahead, not only survival, but thriving, like in unfamiliar or alien surroundings. The trench feels like a living workshop or laboratory, revealing how life might persist elsewhere if the rules are different. When we push the edges of biology, the discoveries from the Mariana Trench mess with what we assumed about what life needs. This deep ocean isn't only some distant dot on the map, it becomes a testing ground for ideas that link planetary science, astrobiology, and our human attempts at exploration. It makes a pretty persuasive argument for why knowing Earth's secret depths matters just as much as chasing distant worlds. In the end, the Mariana Trench leaves us with a real reminder, not only that the search for life is out there among the stars, but also right beneath our feet, in dark realms that have stayed unknown for a long time. Studying these extreme life forms might end up giving us the keys to humanity's next steps, both at home and away from it. The Mariana Trench reveals a world stranger and more vital than we ever imagined. Life built on crushing pressure, glowing in the dark, thriving without sunlight. These discoveries challenge our view of biology and hint at life's incredible resilience across the cosmos. If this journey into Earth's final frontier fascinated you, please like and subscribe to join us as we dive even deeper into the mysteries of our planet and beyond.